今日の第四強殺究極の議員を集り双方名乗りを上げられ。男塾1号生筆頭剣桃太郎。
At number 15 is the Bancho swordsman Tsurugi Momotaro from Sakigake Otokujuku and Akatsuki Otokujuku. Looking for a way to kill some time, Momotaro enlists to the manliest school ever known as Otokujuku, run by their manly principal. As he stated before, Momotaro is the head of Otokujuku's first years, where he carries the responsibilities of encouraging his manly friends and following the traditions of Otokujuku, such as fighting till death. Originally being very laid back, Momo never took the school's teachings or his rank seriously, but still followed his own conduct, such as helping his friends in the most manly way. If his friends get caught for stealing food, he'll take the blame for it and gets thrown in prison, where he has to keep the ceiling from crushing him till dawn. And what does he say afterwards?
もう少しで体がバラバラになるところだった。しかし、なかなか面白かったぜ。
Manly! However, Momo couldn't stay selfish forever as he needed to behave like a leader. It wasn't until his friend Togashi Genji makes him realize the importance of being the head of the first years. Since then, Momo has become a more serious character and made sure to follow his duties as a man. The best examples I can give in this change of demeanor are in episodes 11 and 25.
この喧嘩には1号生のメンツがかかってんだぞ。俺はメンツなど知らん。クソくらいだ。てめえももう、俺はてめえのそういう冷めたところができねえ。てめえの兄貴が殺されたかどうだか知らねえが、一人で生きているような面して勝手な真似するんじゃねえ。確かにお前にはたった一人の肉親だったかもしれねえが、血より濃いものだってあるはずだぜ。富樫の無念、この俺が晴らす。
Momotaro is a swordsman, but his manliness comes from the bizarre way he uses his sword, such as spinning like a top and attacking with his hilt Kenshiro style. Manly! His other manly attacks include gathering his ki into his headband and cutting things with it. But nothing is as manly as gathering his ki, swinging his sword, thus shooting out a tiger! Manly! Also, he's cut a plane and a person in half. Manly! This man has also fought in very outrageous settings such as in a web of fire! But nothing is manlier than the final match of the Heaven Olympics where he and Goki are surrounded in a ring of fire! And cover themselves in oil and light their swords on fire! As you can guess, this is gonna hurt. Fight it with fire! Momo has a chance to refuse this match and he responds with, "Excellent, I will undertake this match." Manly! To be honest, any character from this series is worthy of being on the list. But there is one thing that makes Momo stand out, being the head of the first years. Despite being a leader, Momotaro is young and follows his superiors. His upperclassmen include the head of the second years, Akashi Goji, the head of the third years, Daigo Injaki, and Otokujuku's principal, Etajima Heihachi. As the youngest of Otokujuku's leaders, Momo has to fulfill their expectations as one day he will be the head of the second years and eventually become head of the third years.
男の顔になってゆく。戦うたびに惜しい男の顔になってゆく。頼もしいぜ。
The school has preserved its reputation and pride for over 300 years, and every student must follow its strict discipline to the letter. Sadly, most of Momotaro's maturity only occurs in the manga, as the anime concluded very early. In the arc known as Challenge the Heavens Olympics, Otokujuku is invited to participate in the greatest tournament arc ever, where groups of 16 men are made and they battle 8 different teams consisting of 16 versus 16 fights. With battles spanning nearly 200 chapters, there's bound to be some casualties, which prepares Momo as he must learn to bear the deaths of his fallen comrades and battle for their honor. The head of Otokujuku must be willing to accept the death of his brethren, as they will be used as stepping stones for his victory. This duty falls solely to the leader, as they're supposed to be the strongest and the representative of Otokujuku's teachings. Most of Otokujuku's customs of honor and discipline are those of a samurai, similar to the teachings followed by the Lupin III character, Goemon Ishikawa the 13th. Like Goemon, Momotaro must follow the samurai code of placing honor and victory above anything else. Momotaro seeks the acknowledgement of his superiors, thus showing they can trust Momo with the future of Dokujuku. Or in other words, it comes down to the modern phrase, "I hope Senpai notices me today." What makes Momotaro manly is being a leader of Dokujuku and enduring his trials ranging from surviving torture methods, never surrendering, fighting for honor, and above all, respecting a man's soul. Despite fighting against numerous leaders in the Olympics, Momotaro has rarely killed any of them. Hell, most of the other students didn't kill opponents either. So why did they perform this act of mercy? Some characters believe that killing a skilled martial artist would be wasteful and would rather have them retrain themselves. However, Momo's reasoning is... I don't well understand it either, but there was a sadness that can't be compared looking the center of the eyes of a man, burning with ambition and fighting spirit. Or, as I like to call it, manly friendship! The final piece that sets Momotaro's rank as number 15 is because Momo is a father. In the sequel titled Akatsuki of Dokujuku, Momo has graduated as head of the third years, became the Japanese Prime Minister, and raised his son named Tsurugi Shishimaru, where he bestowed upon him the duty of being head of the first years, thus making him earn his headband and his sword. These two are so alike that instead of being father and son, they look more like twin brothers. Shishimaru has then watched his father's back, then followed his father's footsteps, and managed to one-up his father. Momo can throw a tiger, Shishimaru can throw an Edajima. Tsurugi Momotaro has proven in his adulthood that the future of Dokujuku is in good hands, and his son will follow its strict virtues for generations to come.
Ramenman!
At number 14 is a Chinese kung fu superhero, Ramen Man, from Kinnikuman and Tatakae Ramenman. The Kinnikuman series is known for its superhero wrestling, where each country is represented by their personal hero, with Ramen Man serving China. Ramen Man specializes in martial arts and is known for being very violent, such as tearing people in half.
Fatality.
Despite his violent fighting style, Ramen Man is willing to forfeit his life for the sake of justice! He follows a strict code of honor where he battles with all of his strength, but is willing to share his wisdom with some adversaries. Among the huge cast of Kinnikuman characters, Ramen Man is probably the most disciplined, where he sees the importance of heroism. Much of this conduct is shown through his unselfish acts and role as a martyr character, constantly aiding Kinnikuman in the early parts of the series as a referee, a teammate, and even as a sacrifice. After losing to Kinnikuman, our leading hero became arrogant of his victory, seeing the 20th Chojin Olympics as a walk in the park. Feeling disrespected, Ramen Man attempts to restore Kinnikuman's fighting spirit, where he sheds the first manly tears of the series.
私は筋肉マンと全力で戦って負けた。胸を張って誇りにしたやるよ。お前がそんな状態では私の敗北は無駄ではない。
This act of manliness manages to restore Kinnikuman's fighting spirit, where Kinnikuman returns to favor by wearing the Kinniku clan's battle uniform for the first time. Manly friendship! Like our previous contender from Otokojuku, the Kinnikuman series is filled with manly characters that can take half of this list. However, I'm only allowed to pick one. My choice for the manliest Kinnikuman character is Ramen Man for the following reasons. Ramen Man was first introduced as a murderous hero where he slaughtered Brocken Man and soon lost to Kinnikuman. But his act of manly tears caused him to gain fan popularity to where he was reintroduced into the story as a repenting martial artist. One example is his battle with Brocken Man's son, Brocken Jr., as Ramen Man lets himself get hit as repentance for his murder. However, he also teaches Brocken Jr. to abandon his revenge as he's limiting his true potential. Since then, the two had a surprising teacher-student relationship to the point where Brocken Jr. went all fanboy.
ラーメンマンのことを残虐超人などというのは技の凄さに目を奪われてのこと。彼こそは真の偉大な戦う超人だ。
Ramen Man's manliest moment comes from his devastating battle with Warsman. But to be honest, my words aren't enough to express how sad these scenes are, so I'll let the anime speak for itself.
見ることも聞くことも話すことも考えることもできない。ラーメンマンは無意識の状態で筋肉マンを激励しているんだ。ラーメンマン、私は違う。友情決定戦必ず。
From the list of characters thus far, Ramen Man's tragic sacrifice is one that really pushed him up the list as he bore sorrow for Kinnikuman's future. It takes a lot of mental fortitude to accept defeat and its consequences, but this act of courage is what led to Kinnikuman to gain courage and emerge victorious. In other words, by doing something manly, he made Kinnikuman manly. Manly friendship! The other Kinnikuman characters also bear their own share of drama, but Ramen Man left such a huge impact on readers during the early 1980s. His sacrifice was so influential that it caused an uproar, thus making a spin-off known as Tatakae Ramen Man, where our main character is Victory Ramen Man. In this spin-off, Ramen Man's storyline is completely retconned, where the series is heavy on outrageous martial arts, thus making Ramen Man a manly hero. He constantly trains and takes journeys across China, where he saves the populace from bandits and evil martial artists. Ramen Man is so manly that he brutally kills his enemies with kicks and punches and even shouts "Atatata!" Manly! This story structure is very similar to Fist of the North Star, but as history would confirm, Ramen Man came before Kenshiro? So it's debatable who made the Atatata popular, but one thing that makes Ramen Man unique is one of his techniques. Manly! Momo might be able to shoot a tiger, but Ramen Man can shoot 2 tigers. His tigers are so manly that they can fight a robot tiger. However, in the Ramen Man movie, not only does he summon a tiger, he rides a dragon! Ramen Manly! The success of Tatakae Ramen Man eventually led Ramen Man to return in Kinnikuman, where he once again tears people in half for the sake of justice! Decades later, Ramen Man would still help Kinnikuman by training his son Kid Muscle as a very traditional mystical sensei, showing that Ramen Man will dedicate his life to pay his sins and ensuring the future by helping the Muscle family. It's a shame that his role in Ultimate Muscle is minimal, but his past achievements have left his mark in Kinnikuman history. Ramen Man is also the first Kinnikuman character to show such a dramatic change in personality, where he originated as a Chinese stereotype that became a full-fledged hero. Ramen Man's role as a martyr is still remembered to this day, as the most recent Kinnikuman character poll ranked him as number 10 and is presented in his iconic Manly Tears pose. Whether he's called Victory Ramen Man or just Ramen Man, this Chinese man has surpassed the author's expectations, where he was meant to be a one-time villain. Ramen Man ended up being an iconic martial arts hero who deserves more praise and possibly influenced the creation of Kenshiro. Putting the future above his own life is a kung fu fighter, Ramen Man. He's Ramen Manly!